All right, thank you very much for being patient. We are 3 minutes beyond our 7:30 start time, so I apologize. We'll continue on with the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, but before we do that, is the camera and session live, or it's working? Okay, so if everyone could please rise. Okay, so on October 13th, there will be a special presentation, which will be the 2024-2025 HIB self-grading. Next item on the agenda, superintendent comments. Dr. Forte, the floor is yours.
Okay, just a few things here. Our Denville Education Foundation golf outing is going to be on October 16th. The PTA meeting, I have a PTA meeting scheduled with the presidents of all the PTAs, Sandy and myself, and James. It'll be at the Barn Cafe on August 26th at 2 p.m. If 2 more board members want to come, that'd be fine. We wouldn't be able to have more than 2 more because we'll be talking about school business. So if anybody else wants to come, shoot me an email and I'll track it to see who's doing it. Again, it'll be August 26th at 2 p.m. at the Barn Cafe. All 3 schools have been recertified as bronze level sustainable jersey. So that was pretty cool. I want to thank our green team and the township green team for their hard work. We also partner with not St. Francis, the Oaks at Franciscan Oaks. We partner with them. It's really been a great addition to our team. And we will have our group here to present at a board meeting with some students in the next 3 or 4 meetings. Back to school nights. Lakeview will be September 9th at 6:30 p.m. Valley View, September 10th at 6:30 p.m. And Riverview at 6:30 p.m. on September 11th. I'd like to get 1 or 2, even 3 board members at each one. And I appreciate if you could get to me ASAP with who's coming. Just shoot me an email saying I can go to this one or that one. It would be great if we could have at least 2 at each. And I will be speaking at each one of them this year. So please reach out, shoot me an email. So we're looking for emails about if anybody wants to come on August 26th at 2, and then the 9th, 10th, and 11th for back to school nights. Send me an email and I will organize all this and send it back out. That's it for superintendent comments.
Is it August 27th, convocation?
The board, everybody received their invitation today on the 27th at 8 a.m. for the convocation.
Thank you very much. Assistant superintendent comments. Dr. Cullis.
We currently are sitting at 170 students in our kindergarten class. At Lakeview, we have 79, and Riverview, we have 91. And probably the biggest upcoming change is that this year there will be a new NJSLA assessment, and it's called the adaptive. We were just informed on Thursday. So at this point, we really know nothing about the assessment or when the trainings will be. It looks like the only thing we really know at this point is we'll do a field test in October and November at some point, and then it will be live in the spring assessments, spring of 26. So that's this year. We do know that the new assessment will be tailored and it adapts similar to what our Dreambox math does, where students are given a series of questions. And if they miss a certain number of them, they start to change and make the questions a little bit easier or a little more challenging, and try to find more of a more targeted range of where the student might be performing. So it won't be standardized in that all students would receive the same assessment. But I don't really know much more than that. And as information comes out, we'll inform the parents and we'll inform the board, and like the staff doesn't even know yet. So this was just announced and not a lot of details, but more will be coming. This concludes the Assistant Superintendent's report.
Great, thank you. And Business Administrator comments.
On tonight's agenda, there's a resolution to approve the increase in insurance for the Chromebooks from $30 to $50. This will help with the cost to repair the Chromebooks. We have not had an increase ever since we implemented the one-to-one Chromebook in the district. So this is the first time we need the increase. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Karowski. Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up for public questions or comments. It is now 7:39. Could you
Please.
just, write your name, state your name and address, and also if you can sign in, and use the mic for recording purposes. Thank you.
Mic on.
We can wait till the end if you need to.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can make an exception. Normally, this portion would be for agenda items only, but we'll go ahead and make the exception, so.
So my name is Bonnie Engelhardt. I'm at 1 Hickory. Oh, I forgot we gotta hold it. My name is Bonnie Engelhardt. I'm at 1 Hickory Road in Denville, right over behind Lakeview. And my granddaughter started Lakeview preschool this past March. And first and foremost, I need to say she's doing amazing. She's leaps and bounds. She's been classified. And as far as the daycare transportation, that's our main concern for being here. When we had our initial meetings, we were never told that there was a approved list where she could be transferred to. We were told, as long as it's in Denville, we can drive her there, because we were originally going to go to Rockaway. They're like, we can't take her there. We're like, okay. You know, they said, don't go to learning experience. Little Learner is out of their budget. Rhyme or Reason has nothing until next school year. So we ended up with Goddard. Well, and then after we find out, and she's there and doing amazing there as well, we find out she can't be bused to Goddard. And all of us working, you know, we can't take the time to pick her up from Lakeview to drive her over to Goddard. So what is the reason, like, being like they don't transport to Goddard? Because
Can I just add too that when I worked for the transportation on the bus, we did bus the director's kids there. So I feel if you can bus the director's kids there, you should be able to bus, our kid there, just for the fact of we pay a lot of taxes for transportation and to the school. I just think it's not fair to everyone else that they have to choose between being able to afford daycare or, having to leave work to transport your own child, when there's a very limited amount of daycares in Denville, that being we're in our early 20s, that we can afford.
yeah, so, we really just want to address the busing situation with Goddard.
So this is the first I'm hearing about it. No, I didn't hear from you about this first. If you want, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay, because I reached out to Grace and we reached out to Stacy, and we were told that there's not enough manpower.
Well, and we were also told it's because of the U-turn you have to do, where, it takes longer to get to Rhyme or Reason here than to do that U-turn and to get to Goddard from Lakeview. And just because, I'm sure there's probably, students that live back in Opanaki and on Casterland. Even if she was on a bus with those kids, that would be fine. It's just, it's unfair to us to have to take the time out of our pay to be able to bring her to daycare when we're paying taxes for her to be transported.
Yeah. All
I can
right,
give you a
so
call
if can-
tomorrow.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right, thank
Anything
you.
else? All right,
Thank you for your
thank you.
comments. Yep. All right, seeing no one online and no one else coming up to the microphone, we'll close open comments at 7:43 PM. All right, next on the agenda is old business action to be taken. Mrs. Adelis, could you walk us through old business action to be taken, please?
I sure can. So the following resolutions have been recommended by the Superintendent of Schools to the Board of Education for approval. I move to approve the following resolutions under the reports for July 2025, the Treasurer of School Monies Report, the Board Secretary Report, and the minutes from the July 14th, 2025 work and regular session meetings.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Adelis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. All right, under new business action to be taken, Mr. Capello, can you walk us through personnel, please?
I'd be happy to. If there are no objections under personnel, I would like to move items 1 through 11. I do have some additions and changes to item 1E, where it says Karen Molina. Instead of LV, it should be RV for Riverview. Under U, Diane Carey, it says bus aid. It should say lunch and bus aid. And finally, we also, for number 1, we have 2 items on the addendum, V and W for Catherine Banta, and W is Shelley Housel and Victoria Treen.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I do want to call out, congratulations, we do have some staff members that are retiring. Looks like Janice Rowland, Linda Simonis, Ann Stark, and Diane Carey, which I believe that's everybody that's retiring. Congratulations to them.
Seeing no one else, roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Adelis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. Dr. Moore, can you walk us through IMP, please?
Sure. I'd like to move the following resolutions under instruction and program. Item number 1, workshops and expenses. There's the NJIDA Fall Conference. There's retroactive for LinkedIn for 2 individuals. And then item number 2 is the approval of classroom use of appliances, refrigerator, coffee maker for community-based life skills instruction program at Valley View.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Adelis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is governance. I'll walk through the 2 resolutions as seen on the agenda. First is to approve the 25-26 board goals. Goal number 1 is to strengthen the onboarding tools available for new board members, where the objective is to develop a comprehensive onboarding tools aligned with policy 0144. Goal number 2 is to formalize the process for setting district and board goals, where the objective is to develop a structured and recurring process for creating and reviewing board and district goals. Goal number 3 is to advocate for district needs at all levels of government. This objective is to actively represent Denville's interests through advocacy efforts at the state, local, and national levels. And goal number 4 is to advance a safe, supportive, and school environment by reviewing board policies on student code of conduct. The objective here is to review and enhance the code of conduct to reflect the district's commitment to safety, respect, and resiliency. Under 2, the resolution is to approve the 25-26 district goals. Goal number 1 will be to increase achievement for all students inclusive of all curriculum and areas, with a focus on math and science. Goal number 2 is to continue to discuss, investigate, report, and decide on solutions to challenges in the areas of instructional space, class size, and finance and operations. Goal number 3 is to audit current special services programs and offerings, consider possible additional efficient, effective, and innovative programs. Goal number 4 is to create a vertically aligned curriculum document with a sequence of social emotional learning skills PK to grade 8. And finally, goal number 5, the district will have an updated or new district district website in place by the start of the 26-27 school year.
I'll second.
I heard Mr. Cass on that one. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Dellis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. Under D, Finance, Mr. Anderson, can you walk us through that, please?
Sure. If there are no objections under D, Finance, I'd like to move items number 1 through 6 as a block. I do have a modification to item number 3. I'll read item number 3 just for clarification so I can make sure I get the correct numbers read into the minutes. Item number 3 should read, be it resolved that the board retroactively approve to establish an emergency reserve account for the 2025-2026 school year and approve the following resolution regarding the emergency reserve transfer. Whereas NJSI 18A:21-2, NJSA 18A:7G is in golf -31, and NJSA 18A:7F is in Frank 41 permits a Board of Education to establish and or deposit into certain reserve accounts at year end. And whereas the aforementioned statutes authorized procedures under the authority of the Commissioner of Education, which permit a Board of Education to transfer unanticipated excess current revenue or unexpended appropriations into reserve accounts during the month of June by board resolution. And whereas the Denville Board of Education wishes to transfer the unanticipated excess current year revenue or unexpended appropriations from the general fund into an emergency reserve account at year end. And whereas the Denville Board of Education has determined that an amount not to exceed $250,000 or 1% of the district's general fund budget up to a maximum of $416,000, whichever is greater. The district's original budget certified for taxes is used to calculate the maximum permitted balance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Denville Board of Education that it hereby authorizes the district school business administrator to make this transfer consistent with all applicable laws and regulations.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? I do have a quick question. That last phrase suggests that the school, let me read it. The school business administrator to make this transfer. So it was my impression that the transfer wouldn't be made until later this year. Could you clarify that, please?
Absolutely. The transfer will be made once the audit is finalized and we know how much excess surplus the district will have at the end of this school year, 24-25, to be deposited into those reserves. It could be maintenance reserve, capital reserve, or emergency reserves.
So I think we mentioned this earlier in the meeting, then we would have a separate resolution to vote on the actual amount to be transferred.
We'll recommend a resolution if the district decides to put any funds into the emergency reserve.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The second question I have is that this is something that we would have to vote vote on every year if we wanted to continue this every year thereafter, correct?
Yes, every June before this fiscal school year end, we will ask the board to pass a resolution approving to put an excess amount of unbudgeted, unexpended into the budget for capital maintenance or emergency reserve. But that resolution is passed during the month of June.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
If there are no further questions, roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Sedelis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Cass, can you walk us through operations, please?
Be glad to. Under transportation, there are no actions to be considered on this agenda. Item 2, building and grounds. We have a bunch here. Item 2.1 is I'm asking the board to approve the attached proposal from EI Associates for $12,000 to study possible solutions to the increased student population. And we have EI's June 25th proposal in our package tonight for complete details on that. Item 2.2, to approve a change order for additional valve replacement and masonry wall with support for Magic Touch Construction Company Incorporated, ESC Cooperative, number 289 MOESC, contracts 24-56 electrical services regarding the Riverview School toilet project and the amount of $5,385.96. And we're going to use capital reserve funds to complete that project. Item 2.3, I'm asking the board to approve the attached quote from Magic Touch Construction Company Incorporated to fix the Lakeview School wall crack project ES 9407.00 in the amount of $24,210 using capital reserve funds. Item 2.4 is to approve the attached quote from CJ Vanderbeck and Son to repair all 3 boilers at Riverview in the amount of $9,980 paid from maintenance reserve. Item 2.5, I'm asking the board to approve the following resolution regarding submission of the comprehensive maintenance plan and school facilities form M-1:01. And the detail on that is that the Department of Education requires school districts to submit a 3-year maintenance plans documenting required maintenance activities for each of the public school facilities, and also activities listed in the attached document for the various school facilities of the Denville School District are consistent with these requirements. And whereas all past and planned activities are reasonable to keep school facilities open and safe for use or in their original condition, to keep their system warranties valid. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the school business administrator to submit the comprehensive maintenance plan and the school facilities form M-1 with the Denville School District's compliance with the Department of Education requirements.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Roll
I'll
call,
just
please.
mention a historic thing when Steve probably remembers this because of when he first came and they started chipping away at these various maintenance projects there. We found some fans sequestered and hidden, right? And I think it was Lakeview School there. So part of the HVAC wasn't working. Nobody ever knew they were there or maintained them. So when you don't maintain these mechanical devices, eventually you have problems. They break down and or have to be replaced.
As I remember, Don, it was more than a few, and they were like just rusted in place, like they were just completely out of commission.
It was like 50 throughout the district. But it took us some time, but we got it fixed. Probably took 2 years to get the whole thing done. But we chipped away at it a little at a time. But yeah, those are integral parts of the HVAC system. And that's one of the reasons why we made it through COVID so good, because the HVAC was so squared away. I mean, that was one of the reasons why we were able to open when some other districts weren't.
Seeing no further questions or comments, roll call, please.
Dr. Moore,
Yes.
Mrs. Adelis,
Yes.
Mr. Cass,
No on 2.1, yes on everything else.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Capello,
Yes.
Mr. Kim.
Yes. All right, the next section of the agenda is the good of the cause, committee reports, correspondence, discussion items such as building, board meeting highlights, school, scheduled board members at school public events, and classroom space considerations, and anything else germane to the district.
I have that you approved the study from EI to look at some possible solutions to extra students. Then I have the approval of district and board goals.
Do you want to also throw in there the convocations that are coming up as well, or?
I don't usually talk about that in the public. I don't usually put that out just because we do it after the fact sometimes.
Mr. Kim, just one thing from the Denville Education Foundation. I can't remember. I know I heard Dr. Forte mention the golf outing, but did you mention the movie night also?
I did not.
Okay. I didn't think so. So in addition to the golf outing, which I encourage as many board members as possible to attend, it's a great event. They are also doing a free movie night on Gardner Field 1, September 12th. 7 p.m. they start, but then the movie starts at sunset, and it is Despicable Me 4.
Thank you.
Since we have board members at public events, Steve, you had mentioned the back to school nights.
Yeah, why don't we do it right now if we
If
can?
I was
That'd be
going to
great.
suggest maybe if we can do, could you refresh what 9th, 10th, 11th, which school, which is which?
I also made, as I said last time, that spreadsheet with the events and as they're coming, so you guys can sign just directly up on that sheet. I can share that with you. I just made the shared doc, but the dates for back to school night are Lakeview is September 9th, Valley View is September 10th, and Riverview is September 11th, and they're all at 6:30 p.m. But I'll share this if you want to put your names on it.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Who would like
Do
to
you wanna
do
just-
Lakeview on the 9th? Anybody else?
Yeah, and I rarely go to any Lakeview events, so I think I'll make the attempt to go to the Lakeview one as well.
Okay, Valley View on the 10th.
That's the only night that works for me, so I'll do that one.
I can do that one also.
The 11th. How about the 11th?
Thursday. That's the only one I can't make.
So I heard Dawn should be able to make it. I'll
Don at Riverview?
Yep, and I could be present for the Riverview one as well.
And I added Christina to Valley View because I know she'll be there for that. Great, thanks. And we'll use that form going forward. I'm glad we got this thing squared away now, though.
Thank you very much. So the PTA thing as well, you said it was August 28th, I believe. 26th, forgive me. Do we want to see if we can hash that out as well? Is there anyone else available?
Sure, if anybody else is going to go, that'd be great.
Did you say 2 o'clock?
2 p.m.
I mean, I should be able to go unless somebody else wants to.
What date was that again? Sorry.
26th of August.
Actually, no, sorry. I cannot go.
All right, I have James. Oh, no, Dino.
Don't take me off, sorry.
On that day, there's also the start of the school year. Is that correct?
This next day is the convocation on the 27th.
Okay.
Do you need our RSVPs for that, or we just show up?
No, I think it's okay. Just if there's more, just don't talk business in groups of more than 3. That's all. About 1 hour, an hour and a half, around that.
Dino had sent an email to myself and Michael with regards to New Jersey school boards. Please, Dino, if you will.
Yeah. Mike had actually, we had this was started from a conversation Mike and I had about, some advocacy around the issue of the health insurance, increases that we're seeing. One of the biggest problems, besides the fact that they are outrageous, is that they're happening at a time of year after the budget's been approved. And, basically they're coming in halfway through a budget year. So one of our ideas was to see if there might be some interest in a resolution for school boards to advocate for changing that structure. Obviously, this would only apply, I assume, to the state health plan. Obviously, private plans would be what they are, I guess. But this would be something that we would advocate with for the state, or that school boards would advocate for the state to change that so that it wouldn't be such a problem. So that was the idea behind that.
So really, it was just the timing. Was that the?
Well, I think the one issue was the timing. The other issue, Mike, if you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but we also maybe were thinking about maybe advocating for if they exceeded a certain amount, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I always try to say fight the fight you could win, because going in and saying, well, the increases are too high and stomping your feet is probably going to result in them saying, well, too bad the insurance company is charging too much, so go knock on Horizon or United's door, which is just going to not help any of us. But one of the, I think, an easier win, although I talked to Mrs. Gorowski before the meeting, and apparently it's been something that's been discussed for some time, but maybe now it's at a head where there's a lot of interest in it. Mrs. Gorowski said one of the challenges with changing the timing from January to December, in other words, calendar year, to really our fiscal year, which is July to June, is that the state health benefit plan, there is some loose attachment to the entire state health benefit plan. Even though we're just the school educators, which would be easy to separate, there is a connection back to the larger plan, which is probably how they're trying to negotiate from a larger pool of enrollees in the plan. So one of the challenges is you would have to separate that somehow. I still think that's a winnable fight versus stomping our feet and saying, this is too expensive, this is crazy. The other idea was, and I think we need to probably go in with a few different ideas and talk to the legislative committee at New Jersey school boards to understand what they think is winnable, because they have a much better idea what they think they can get through the legislature and get support from. But the other idea would be to somehow come up with a way that there is, either a secondary waiver halfway through the year or something that you can do to affect, the increase in payments. So maybe it's a reserve account that is more accessible, right? Like maybe there's multiple options. We just need to go in with the problem and a few different solutions and see if we can get legislative support to say which direction would be the best for them based upon what they think they can get through.
Yeah, I actually wanted to add the emergency reserves, because if that has been a challenge with the Department of Education, is there ways for them to loosen up the reins on that, I guess, if you will? Because if it is hard to get the funding, in a timely manner, then if we can sort of give them examples of why it would benefit districts, especially if they have the capacity at the reserve level. So, I mean, districts that are fiscally responsible, districts that are fiscally healthy, should be able to have more ways of addressing issues with the budget rather than putting the burden solely on the taxpayer. So.
Yeah. So my understanding is the delegate assembly, right? There's 2 each year. There's one, and then I believe, if I recall correctly, there was an email that just went out recently about resolutions would have to be submitted, I think, by the end of September, beginning of October. Yeah. October 3rd. Yeah.
So, and maybe either Mr. Kim or Mr. Capello can let me know, because I know you guys have been part of that, and thank you for, working on it. But how does that work? In other words, do we have to have this completely buttoned up and written to them, or is this something we work with school boards, legislative representatives to help build what that looks like? We're not a writer of legislation.
James, I know you were involved mostly in the last one, right? I mean, how did that go for you? Like, how did you?
Yeah, so they have a list of bylaws, or their bylaws is a collection of resolutions passed over the course of time, or over the course of their existence, and those bylaws are approved resolutions, and that's sort of the position that they hold. So our homework is to go through those bylaws to see which resolutions or which bylaws we would want to modify, and then develop a resolution and approve it here at the district level, and then submit it to the delegate assembly. So their lawyers would review it, and then there would be a conversation or discord back and forth on what they felt.
So with that in mind, maybe an idea would be, and I'm happy to help out with this. We've got a short period of time here, about a month or so, to really, less than a month probably, right, to get something set up. I might suggest that we potentially go to some of our local legislators and say, hey, is this something that you think even has some traction, and which direction has the best traction, so that we know kind of, number one, we might be able to get a sponsor potentially, but also just understand what direction we should go. Because I don't think we could write something that's all encompassing, right? I mean,
Yeah, I think we could take multiple approaches. I want to discuss it at governance and during this next meeting, and see if we can hash out, because there's other ideas like transportation that I wanted to address as well. And I think this would be a perfect thing to try to push through for our next governance meeting. So.
Mike, I
Sounds
think
great.
I think your point's a valid one. The only thing is it's a slightly different audience. Like, the legislators are going to be important at the end, but we have to get the school districts that attend school boards to delegate assembly to vote yes. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, you do want to walk in there saying that, yes, there are legislators who are generally supportive of this and think it's a good idea. I think that'll help. But at the end of the day, the first step is convincing those, the other districts.
yeah, I almost go about it from the opposite way. Come up with something like, okay, so if we sell it to all the school districts and then every legislator is like laughing, like there's no way that's going to get through, then we're coming up with something that doesn't make sense, right? Like, at least something that has some traction of some. If we go in and we say to the legislators, hey, here's a couple ideas, and they go, don't even touch these two here. Like, those are like the third rail for you guys. That's not going to work. But hey, this one I think makes sense. At least we know a little bit of a direction. I don't know. You guys have been through it before.
I think you're right. I mean, I think based on the last experience, James, the legislative staff at school boards were really helped. Like, they really they have a very good finger on what's going to work, like on what everybody's thinking. So in fact, they asked us to tweak some of our language, I think, based on that.
Yeah, I'm also part of the Morris County Legislative Committee. So the director of that committee is going to be having a meeting with Ora Dunn, and then we'll have a meeting in September. So I'm hoping that we can try to tackle it from two paths, so two angles.
And I also think it's worthwhile to just keep an open dialogue with our local legislators, state legislators, in a way that's like, hey, here's a challenge we have, right? Even if we're not coming and saying we're coming up with a resolution, at least, because they may hear about that and just come back to us and say, hey, this came up again. Oh my gosh, like, this is something I really actually want to try to help out with. Or, they may ask us to go back and do some homework, or I don't know. It's just a dialogue. It's not a formal, hey, do you approve this? Are you going to sponsor? But at least a dialogue, because they always kind of want to have their finger on the pulse on the challenges that their local municipalities or boards of education have. So just a thought it's just a conversation, right? Just an open conversation with them.
Dr. Forte, forgive me if I missed this, but did you set up the committee meetings dates already for September?
I did not, but I'm thinking it's going to be the 4th of September, which is the Thursday before the meeting.
Okay. Depending on how much I can get prepared for that meeting, could you maybe allocate some extra time for governance?
You mean like more than the typical hour?
Yeah. Well, no, I think, a full hour should be fine then. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, if there are no other board members that have any comments, then we'll go ahead and proceed with our agenda, or continue on with our agenda, which is the second public comment section. We'll go ahead and open it up at 8:13 PM. Seeing no one in the chambers and no one online, we'll close it at 8:13. And will there be a need for a second executive session? Okay, thank
Motion
you.
to adjourn?
Second.
Fantastic. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Abstentions? We are now adjourned at 8:13 PM. Thank you, everyone.